Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Wasteland podcast, an ATF podcast. I'm your host, Wastelander, and joining me is my co-host, Filthy Moose.
Hello.
And we have a bunch of guests joining us today. Aduilted,
Terra Verbis, also known as AwfulScripter,
fanjombler, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that, nikoworks, Notapoda,
What's up?
and samdoesstuff. Take it
So
away.
today, first topic we're talking about is the factions. Firstly, started in Mirage, but then we're gonna go on to Deep Winter, Deep Six, all those other older factions, especially since they have the reboot. But factions from Mirage, I feel like the most morally good faction for like the whole storyline, I guess you could say, is like TRO, the Rosary Order. I know Nico, you're a C rank there, not a C rank. You were an HR for like a few months, something like that. How was that?
It was pretty good for the most part, other than having to constantly stress out about scheduling as well as faction relations and managing members, but it was a pretty fun experience, especially for the 8 months I've been there.
What did you do for host most of the time?
Since I was effectively the leader of the guard force there, also known as the Doctrine, mostly did training, scheduling, and weapons maintenance, as well as operations, stuff like that.
That's nice. And Sam, aren't you a C rank there?
I'm currently in HR.
Oh, HR. How's that going?
So, I mean, I never host, but scheduling host is kind of annoying because you'll always have people hosting over you, which happened a couple times I tried to host, which kind of sucks, but you just kind of move on and find another time.
Yeah, that happens with all factions, I guess, kind of. It's the host.
And in terms of faction relations, I guess it's kind of difficult, because you have some factions that are really just stupid and do dumb stuff, and then you have members who do dumb stuff and screw up the entire thing. But other than that, I mean, it's kind of entertaining to just see how stuff goes.
How was being a faction, like managing faction relations, like for both of you guys? Like, how was that?
We just shitpost.
Sounds
So
like
you guys
an ATF
basically get an
faction.
extra. You guys get an extra text channel to shitpost.
Yeah, we get faction comments where everyone just shitposts.
For being honest.
Mr.
Listen to
Tetragon, how is it like being a faction rep for the CDF?
Yeah,
I am not a faction rep for the
You
Syndicate.
were. Then what are you a faction rep for?
Syndicate, you
The
absolute
Syndicate.
buffoon. God,
What is that again? Like
trash.
some caravan?
The merchant,
Syndicate.
a merchant faction in any of this.
Syndicate.
Are they still around?
Used to be the Z-Man Caravan actually, but now they're a branded faction and no one cares about them anymore.
Sarah, how was it like
Yes.
being a faction rep for the CDF, not for the Syndicate? Like how what do you guys do like during host or like used to do? You guys still host, right?
Rumor has it that we do still host.
Rumor has
yes.
it. You don't even know.
There's a word going around that we might host at some point in the next 10 years.
Oh, that makes
Shut
sense.
the fuck up.
How was it back when you guys were like active? How was that like?
It was actually good back then, and then I became a faction rep, and it all went to shit.
Why?
You know why? Because you get this perspective on the entire thing. You're like looking down on it now. Once you get to the top, it's fucking like looking down on the faction, and then you're like, oh well, now all I see in an RP is who's who. You know what I mean? It's not about anything that actually happens anymore. It's about the OOC outcome. It's about the actual impact of the faction.
It's hard.
Now. It's no longer
Hard being
about
at the
people
top.
in it. It's lonely being at the top.
Yeah. We were.
When you're at the top of the food chain, all you can eat is other people.
What?
So that's yeah.
Cannibalism.
Top of the food
When
chain,
you're
all you
at
can
the
eat.
top of the chain, there's no rivalry
Look, man.
between you and another predator.
There is some. It is cold, ruthless corporate bullshit the whole way through, and you don't want to be in it. Do not become a faction rep.
I'm so old. I remember when Terra Tetragon was a Retso.
Oh yeah.
I remember when you were born because that happened in my lifetime.
Damn.
Leave me alone.
What do you guys think about dude, the coyotes, man? I'm not gonna lie, the coyotes back then, like that was
They were rough.
they could have done that a bit
That
better. I'm gonna be honest. I think we all have I think we can all agree it was a
Yeah.
good faction, but they could have maybe implemented it a little bit better in the game, in the storyline.
Kind of odd how
mean-
they just up and disappeared.
Well, they didn't just do that. They got drawn out of like the
A lot
valley.
more with Myriad.
Yeah, there was a whole ordeal with Myriad, with all that. The CDF got him out of there, and it just like honestly, I feel instead of just making them leave and be gone forever, I feel like they maybe should have like came back like somehow. Maybe they should have implemented them in the game further, so they had more of a purpose than just come in, take over Crater View, and then just leave after getting like.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I
a Raider
know.
faction. What do you want them to do?
Yeah, I feel bad for everyone that
Experience.
joined the faction, and they couldn't roleplay as their characters anymore. And the amazing mascot, of the Coyotes, Scully, everyone's favorite.
Oh
Yeah.
dear God!
Stop
Don't
speaking.
remind me of it.
Stop speaking.
Yeah. It was. I had some fun times. It caused a lot of issues. I remember there's this one chick role playing as a coyote outside of the town, Crater View. She was in like Boulder Cove, and then like me and like a few friends of mine. I remember Mutilator was there as Prospector Perry. I don't know.
Oh my
he was
lord.
stupid.
That's a whole nother podcast.
What he did was like we saw a lone coyote and we're like, okay, we're gonna attack her. There was like 5 of us because I don't know. She tried to rob us, and then there were like 5, 6 of us or something like that. But we ended up attacking her, and she's like, you can't attack me. I have fear. Something like, dude, you're a single coyote. Like what the
No.
come on, that's not how it works. And it just caused a lot of issues. But I think it was fun. I know there was a lot of personal arcs with like characters going on. I remember a friend of mine who's an LPM. He told us about like a character that his friend had, and he kind of went through like his own arc with the coyotes. And he wasn't a coyote, but he had a lot of things happen to his character, and it was
Peacekeeper?
yeah,
Or like something like that.
something
Yeah,
like
he was
that.
kind of interesting, but he like died like 4 times, but he didn't die.
Oh no, man. But yeah, the coyotes. I think we all agree they should have implemented them maybe a little bit better into the game.
We
But
can all
Yeah.
agree that they
Yeah,
were
I
a great
agree.
faction. It's just
They were.
that a little more
Attention.
attention. They could have been a lot better.
Honestly,
Some
Yeah, I
quality
agree.
control in terms of characters would have been
Yeah.
nice.
the problem I
Yeah.
have with the after the Flash event timeline thing is that a major event happens, Crater View or whatever gets toppled over by some sort of new enemy. There's that. 2 months later, or over the course of 2 months, nothing happens, and then a big event shows up or kicks in, and then all of a sudden the good guys win. Good faction win. It's
I
just
get-
confusing to me.
Sometimes factions can be pretty black and white, but when you look at the big picture, I mean, it's a really complex story that people have built. Yeah, I mean, you can look at a faction and see every single person has like their own little relationships going on and their own
Yeah.
like their own effect. I mean, they might think that I'm just an LR, I don't have any effect on this, but I mean, like one guy in the middle of a raid could change the course of the whole, I don't know, the whole game if they wanted to.
Yeah, I remember fanjombler. Didn't you say you had some really good times in that faction, the Light Brigade? It's gone now, right? It's like just
Yeah, they left the Icily, but I remember like around the time when the Coyotes started, we owned Craterview and we had like stole a bunch of shit from it. It was really fun. We had a lot of fun just like going around robbing people, like fucking with the Coyotes. My character unfortunately got RTK'd, but I mean up until that point I was just fucking having a blast every night with TLB.
yeah. I remember role playing as Scrappy, dude. Like with me, you, Danny Ratso. That was fun. Those are some good times. I feel like honestly, the CDF. They're like, what do you guys think about them?
No,
Annoying.
I
dumb.
They're a
at
perfect
times.
example of wanting to be something that you can't be. They want to be the beacon of democracy in the middle of a wasteland where you can't have that anymore. It's almost impossible.
I guess.
Exactly. Especially with the USCPF and
Yeah,
SLF.
their hosts are kind of they're all right. I'm in the CDF. I attend some of their hosts. I had some fun times. I
Oh,
mean,
oh, Sealy, they're great.
I
I'm
feel
talking
like
about like
yeah,
in character stuff, like how I would feel if I was actually there.
their hosts, I feel like, are very repetitive as most of like main factions. Like, for example, I'm in WW and SLF, and I mean it's either a patrol or character dev, robbing or character dev. I feel like it's just the same thing. I wish it was a little
that's
bit
true.
more
I've
less
never been
repetitive.
in like the SLF before. Like I remember all I've seen them do is like patrol. But like how'd that go? How are the hosts going for the SLF? What do you guys do besides like patrolling?
I mean, training character devs are very pointless because airmen can do character dev, so you'll get 2 or 3 people most of the time, and then it's
Yeah.
boring. I feel like patrols are really only fun unless you're fighting mutants or you're an operator that gets to wear a SEAL suit. I feel like for the airmen, it's not entertaining or interesting at all.
Yeah. I don't know. Like there's a lot of character dev hosts out there. And like I guess for like new characters or like new people have joined the faction, I guess it's kind of good. And I remember I made a character for faction once, and like obviously didn't no one know anybody in it, so like there was a character dev host. I'm like, sure, why not? And like joined for a few minutes, and like they kind of just started talking, getting to know each other. It was nice, but I feel like doing that over and over again, that gets kind of boring, But then again, like what else are you gonna do? Like the host, like there's not much you can really do, but I'm gonna be honest though. I feel like the factions in Deep Six. I feel like me personally, I feel like they're like really good, like better than Mirage, to
They've
be
got a lot
honest.
of
That in
depth to
my
them,
opinion.
definitely. They've
Yeah, I remember they had like you
Yeah.
told me earlier, Wastelander. You said that they had the journalism faction or
it
something.
was like there was this. It was like they only lasted for a week, but there was this one time it was like it was late in the game, but they the PRT came out with like a bunch of Southside enrichment things. Like there was a the only one I remember was the one I was in. It was like a Southside newspaper. I was a journalist for it. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I remember that. They had you remember those scripted events where like they'd have the bomber blow up the
Hmm.
buildings or whatever, the shell on the south side. Yeah, they had. I
Yeah.
remembered in one of those there were like 3 American journalists there, and I'm like, who are these guys? I'm there, like, they told me about the journalism faction. I'm like, geez, that's actually a pretty good idea. Feel bad they didn't. I could see why they didn't last like that long, but it seemed like a really interesting faction, to be honest. And I really like the MEB. That was a cool faction. I liked. I attended a few hosts. They were
Come to Brazil.
yeah,
were
come to
very-
Brazil.
Yeah, they were legendary.
Yeah, and
Wait, what
then
are we talking about?
we're talking
the
about Deep
Come to
Six.
Brazil.
deep factions in Deep Six.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Yeah, there were I was in the RCO. That was basically like Britain. So they yeah, they went to Whitman Bay, that one town, and they had that huge boat, that Enfield, that's what it's called. They like owned it. And I had some pretty good times there. And I just feel like the factions had I feel like the story for uh Deep Six was like really excuse me, I feel like it was really good. And like
hmm
I just feel like it was really detailed. That's a whole another different topic.
Yeah,
But
I agree.
they
it was awesome.
yeah. What were you gonna say, Nico?
Oh, sorry. Honestly, I thought the story for Deep Six was more consistent in terms of story than Mirage. That can be just my opinion, but
I agree.
it was it's pretty enjoyable.
Yeah, I like
That's all I can say.
I like the those little skirmishes they had on the bridge, the PRT versus the USCPF.
Those were a
Those
lot
are
of fun.
fun, man. Even though I died like at the end of them because I couldn't type for shit, dude. They were really fun. I had a great time.
There was this one
Six,
event. I remember there was this one event. It was since Deep Six was a multiverse, it never it was always voided.
Yeah.
But it was this war where it was the middle of the war and the PRT was in the MEB was making its way. It had already gotten into Whitman Bay, and the USCPF launched a nuclear bomb and started the second flash. It was a really
I just had some good
Full
times on
circle
there
thing.
with the little skirmishes they had were fun. They had some pretty good factions. Dude, the bouncing border bandits. Do you remember them? I don't know if a lot of you guys remember them, but I think you might.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Mm-hmm.
I remember they were a thing, and then they got like taken away, and then they came back again, and like for like a small period of time,
Yeah.
you didn't need an app to like get in. So like me, my friends, like Hyper and all them, we like role played as like bouncing border bandits, and it was just like really fun, honestly.
I do remember them
Yeah.
I remember them vaguely. I remember the Corsairs. I was never part of them, but I got
Dude,
like
I was part of I was
uh
for Ruben's Corsairs, man. That brings back memories. I was in that faction for a little bit. I had some fun times. There was a raid against the RCO, right? So we were in Whitman Bay and we were like attacking like a warehouse that the RCO owned. And it was like really fun. That was back when like people were like kind of toxic and like like
yeah.
uh hold up, yeah, I shot you in the shoulder. Wait, what? Wait, now that I mention it, that other guy, I shot him too. It was
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
chaos, but it was fun.
Real petty.
Yeah, but Ruben's Corsairs, I was in it for a time, and then didn't it? What happened? Didn't it get like shut down? It just
I think it disappeared for a while, but
Yeah,
they kept the
I think
weapon.
it
They kept the
did.
weapon. They kept the weapon pack in the store though.
yeah,
Yeah, they did.
that's
I
cool.
knew that.
I remember they were really big, and then everyone stopped playing them. I didn't really pay much attention
Yup.
to it, but it was I don't know. Like I know when you for Mirage, jumping back to Mirage, whenever they like open up applications for new factions, they don't want like caravan factions or anything like
Yeah.
anything bland or generic. I remember the Z Wang caravan, whatever. I'm like, oh, it's another caravan faction, and they had that arc where they turned into the TMP. I'm in the TMP, dude. That it's actually not that bad. I kind of like the arc they had. That there was like two different sides of the caravan. Like one of them was just like banditry. The other one was like, nah, we gotta be passive. We gotta trade, and then the bandits obviously won, but something like that. But it was really, I like the arc. It was. I feel like that's a nice faction. I mean, yeah, like the host. Like, what are you gonna do? Like Rob, you can't really do that much, but there's like, we do some fun stuff, and yeah, I feel like faction arcs. Like, aren't there a lot basically going on right now?
There's a lot
Like,
going on right now. Like
Tons of
you had
stuff,
you had
yeah.
the 17th split off and become terrorists. You had
Yeah.
a couple it was a while ago, but Z Wang became the Mora whatever pack.
yeah,
I mean, there's a lot going on, and it's like a big turning point. Oh, and now you got the CDF having to deal with what the hell is it called? Outcast fever.
coronavirus ATF edition.
Red
Oh,
flu. Red
yeah.
flu.
Speaking
Red flu,
for
yeah, red flu.
speaking for arcs on
1967.
factions and Deep Winter and like Deep Six and stuff like that, I know in Deep Winter, in the market, which me Filthy Moose and Dorpburgers are all either MRs or HRs, and we've been having a lot of fun. Makarov keeps that faction alive. It's like the only Deep Winter faction featured on the Allies page for After the Flash. It's like group page. I know yesterday we had like 2 Rat 8As, I think, like going fight like fist to fist, tail to tail with each other, fucking fighting
Jeez.
in Southside. That was a pretty cool thing, and it's like gonna start something up, I think. And then there's just like the market as a whole. We've done a lot of arcs in the past and stuff like that. And then we like take our characters and we can say like the same stuff that happened in Deep Winter happened in Mirage, and we can do a lot more storytelling there as well with our characters. We don't exist in Mirage, but our characters still do, and it's really fun.
Yeah, Deep Winter's I think it's a really fun game. I used to not play it that much, but then I started playing it. It's a good game with like a lot of potential.
Yeah.
I just wish like more people played it, honestly.
I mean, I think if like Deep Winter doesn't even have a radio station. I mean, there's a lot of lost potential there. I know it's like it's basically the second version of Deep Six. It got a lot less attention from but I mean, they really could have had some.
Well,
I mean, they did have something, but and they still do have something. But I mean, I feel like could have had a lot more attention and probably still be
The
played like Deep Six is.
Yeah, from what I heard, the U.S. a lot of people were like upset. I feel like because like the U.S. CPF, I heard they played like a really big role, and they were like, I don't know. I remember a lot of people said stuff about the U.S. CPF being like too powerful or something in like Deep
Yeah,
Winter,
yeah.
and like
They
I
own the
mean
power plant.
they're a good faction, but then they have some kind of like mutant faction too. Forgot what it was called.
Yeah, they had Cerberus and they had the ragtag one. I forget, it was a fan
Yeah.
faction that got kicked off. What was it called? Do you guys remember that when they brought in the two mutant factions, and one of them was
To be honest, I only started playing ATF in the beginning of Mirage.
Mudmen, I think they're
Damn.
called.
might have been
I don't
no, Mudmen was
think
from 3.
Yeah.
I partially remember it, but I don't know much about it.
Oh yeah, it was the Varmints or something like that.
Oh, those guys?
Yeah, you remember them? I remember
Yeah,
it
I
was
think.
like a mutant group where it was basically like a big mutant caravan. Like there were humans in it, there were mutants in it. It was kind of odd. They were on the crash ship just by the bridge. That's where they lived.
Back in I don't you guys probably weren't around during this, but back when Sandstorm was like big, Sandstorm and Rain, they had a faction called the Florida Minutemen. I think it was they were alive for a little bit, and I remember some of my friends were in it, and they were basically like the Minutemen from Fallout 4. And I mean, it kind of seemed like a cool idea, but then after a while, it's like CDF V2, if you know what I mean.
I can see
That was
that. Yeah.
eons ago. That was like 2014, not 24, 2015, 2016,
Mm-hmm.
something like that.
One thing yeah, go ahead.
No, what were you gonna say?
One thing I know is the WW. They have two sides. They have like the
Racist.
malignants.
Altruist and
Yeah, they have
malignant.
the ultras malignants. Yeah. And so like the malignants, like the bad dudes, they rob people, take everyone's shit. And
Altruists are
then the
just boring.
altruists are very boring, but they're called the altruist LRs are called Minutemen, so it's kind of cool.
Really? Huh.
Yeah.
I was in WW for a while, and then I just like didn't attend any hosts because one of my friends wanted me to do it. And then like TRO and WW, the Altruists like got really close after like WW got kicked out of everything, so we interacted with them a bit.
Yeah, WW can't go shit now. They can't go anywhere. It's so annoying.
They're like TLB 2.0.
TLB actually, we used to own Craterview for a while.
Yeah, I
and then
remember
the
that.
Coyotes showed up, and they
You
like
remember
messed everything over.
Bliss was like a TLB puppet, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was a
Yep.
worker for the TLB.
You know, there was one odd thing that I kind of wanted to address. Like, I've always been thinking about that. You remember when Bliss banned Outcasts and like everybody got really mad but like, wouldn't it be logical for you to be afraid of Outcasts because like, I mean,
Well, you gotta realize, if we were in TLB when this happened, my friend complained about it because he had an Outcast character. TLB also banned Outcasts, and like after a little while, like after the Coyotes like stormed Craterview for the first time, I know Quavonaut and HR I think said in the chat, he's like, "We just lost Craterview." I'm like, "Wait, what?" I mean,
Craterview,
TLB
Jesus
was
Christ, dude.
really fun. Nobody really like expected us to do much, I guess, in my own terms. But we had like a load of fun doing a lot of dumb stuff together.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know I met some great people in TLB. Yeah, I hung out with a lot of people like Shad during that time, and it was really fun. It was like last summer.
I'm wearing a pillow on my head.
Sick.
Yo, pillow on
very
head
relevant to the current
Yeah,
situation. Thank you, Mike.
So back to Deep
Why?
Winter. Do you guys remember? You guys, of course, you remember the Den, but
yeah,
you remember?
the Den.
You remember Groundwalkers? You know the CDF
Sounds
like.
familiar. I didn't religiously play Deep Winter back then, but I do remember
me
hearing about
neither.
them.
See, the CDF was kind of like wasn't the CDF yet. They called themselves the militia, but they had they had a split between kind of like two divisions. You had the people down in the den who they wore all red. They lived inside the den. Then you had the mercenaries that worked for them, which they were called groundwalkers, and they would go up and they would traverse the wasteland, collect things, do the militia's dirty work while the militia sat in their sat in the big cave down there. Well, I was a groundwalker once, and there was this. And tell me if you guys remember Penumbra, right?
Sounds familiar.
Penumbra was
Yeah.
this
Yeah, Penumbra.
I've heard
kind of
of
like a cult faction. I remember, but there was this war going on between them, and there was this one fight. And correct me if I'm wrong about any of the details here. It's been a couple of years, but the the groundwalkers, we all went over to where we knew the Penumbra. We camped out in this old farmhouse, and the Penumbra was, I believe, this might all be just bad memory, but I believe they were allied with the ACMF remnants, and the militia came in and they tried to attack them. We were pushed back, right?
Yeah.
And then the ACMF turned on Penumbra and burnt down the barn. But yeah, I mean, you can go into Deep Winter to this day, and the devs actually destroyed the model of the barn and replaced it
Oh
with
wow.
a burnt down area. It was so cool to me because
That's
I
cool.
was a younger player back then, and
Sounds cool.
Yeah.
I got to see something that I was involved in actually affect the game, and that's a lot of things that I know a lot of players kind of strive to
It's
see.
always nice to see stuff
Yeah.
like that in like ATF
Mhm.
games. You get the feeling of like, oh my god, I'm actually like having an impact on this like huge story.
100%. I mean, if we would have
Yeah.
if we would have lost
Feels
that,
good.
if we would have lost that, I mean, that model wouldn't be there. I mean, it's
That's really cool how they implemented like something that you guys affected into the game, like as a faction. I think that's a cool
Hey
idea.
guys, I just burnt down a building. I'm now a part of the story.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Get
Wow.
You guys remember? You guys remember the Reds?
yeah, the Reds. Oh my! Wait. Are you talking
Oh,
about
yeah,
the
the
Deep Winter
Reds,
Reds or
yeah.
the Deep Six Reds?
The Deep Six Reds. I'm not that familiar with the Deep Winter Reds. I remember for Deep Six when the game first got released, and they were taking the owner of the Reds. I forgot who it was back then, but they were taking apps from people. But like it was something like, oh, we're not gonna release the whole lore. We'll maybe leave some hints here and there, but like you gotta kind of like guess like what what do you think this faction is? What do you expect from it? And like kind of just like try your best at the app. And like I remember like thinking they were a bandit faction or something stupid, and like my app got declined. Like Jesus Christ, like that was Reds were an interesting faction. I remember I was in the Red Discord. One of the app takers back then, I forget who it was. He said something about like he's like, Jesus Christ, I got so many stupid apps today, and he's like, well, one of them was some guy who has like a robot finger or something stupid, and another guy was someone who like smears his face with the ashes of his dead mother or something.
Oh my
stupid.
god!
What the
Holy
hell?
shit, that's
I'm like,
deep.
what the heck? What? Who the?
mother.
It's
Yeah.
camouflage.
Wait. Slow down a sec. What?
Yeah, I'm serious. That's what he said. And I'm like, geez, you guys must be taking apps like Nico and Sam back when back when you were in HR, and Sam when you were C rank and still are in HR, like you taking apps like for factions. I know I take some for the market, but like how's that go?
Well,
You say so.
I
but you take all.
don't know why, but people don't like send me a lot of apps, oddly enough. But when the faction first started and I was a C rank and I was like one of the only people taking apps, I got like a lot of apps. And they're kind of annoying to sort through, but really you're looking for like one key point. And if the question includes it, then yeah, you pass. Not much to it.
What we're looking for is like if you have a basic understanding of the faction as a whole
It was
and
Yeah.
something.
overall the character that you have. So it isn't really that hard to pass, especially in TRO standards, as long as you don't overall be a dick
Yeah.
about it and just go like, oh hey, I'm a troll as my character. It doesn't go like that.
I I remember one of the first apps I took, this guy, like, he sent me his app and he, like, failed really badly. But here's the thing, like, so he said that one of the other C ranks took the application, like, after he sent it to me. And then I messaged him, I'm like, hey, did you approve this guy's app? Because it's really messed up. And he says no. So then the guy ends up getting blacklisted from the faction because he lied about someone reading his app. It's really weird. I don't know why people
Yeah, I
do
know
that.
that it's really it's a serious thing with factions. Like, you know, you can't like leak like app answers, or you can't like help someone on their app, or you could get like
Sending
blacklisted.
app answers is a blacklist from almost all the factions.
Yeah, it's a pretty big thing.
When did the Flash happen? 2020.
With the way
Flash.
2020 is going right now, wouldn't be
This
surprised.
is 2020 coronavirus.
I mean, they got coronavirus ATF edition, man. But
No, the Flash obviously happened in 1965.
oh yeah,
The Flash was a Republican.
Or
You got
Yeah.
the people who think the game's Fallout and they're walking around with their freaking Brahmin and their
Dude, back in like no, it wasn't Deep
Power
Six.
armor.
Back in Rain and Sandstorm, when Chad released the Fallout pack, man.
Oh my
that
God,
was what that
bad
dude. I
mistake.
remember when people were using the laser rifle and the plasma pistol or whatever
I
it
was that
called.
person.
Me too. I was that person like a little bit, but like I remember people were thinking it was Fallout, and it was just Jesus. It was it was something.
pretty bad, yeah.
Yeah. Jeez. But moving on to like ATF experiences with Mirage mostly.
I'd like to say something real quick. I know there was like a huge running joke in the TLB and the Discord. Like a lot of the people would say that TLB was just Reds point 2, and it was kind of funny, even though I didn't know what the Reds was that much. But
TLB was not the Reds part 2. That's no, Reds was something completely different. They had some kind of like strong political standpoint. I remember
The Reds were like the people who knew about the Atlanta crisis.
Yeah,
the Reds
all
was
that.
the Gentleman Committee.
Yeah, the Anti-Swag Corporation. But yeah,
The Reds were kind of the good guys in Deep Six.
Yeah.
To an extent.
Throwback to when I thought they were bad.
Yeah.
I smear my face with the dead ashes of my mother.
Anyways, you were saying we were talking about we were going to talk about personal experiences in Mirage, huh?
Yeah, personal experiences in Mirage. Like I've had some pretty cool ones. Recently not that much, but like back when the game first came out, I had some pretty cool times there. And like I had like I was gonna sound like stupid, but like I've had like a lot of like I like a lot of my characters kind of like they kind of like developed a lot, and it's like I don't play ATF religiously. I remember like whenever I do play, everyone's like, "Oh my god, dude, you only have like level 300 or something." Or back then I had like 150 hours on the game, so like, "Oh my god, your hours are so low." But like even I don't play it like every single day. I still do play it often, and like I've had some. Yeah, even now, honestly, like I'm in like TCA and TRO, and I kind of enjoy like attending some of the hosts and like having my characters kind of develop a little bit. I don't put like my blood and sweat into. I don't like like make it the only priority I have. But, like it's really I enjoy it, and like I like where it's. I kind of I've had some fun times, like some fun experiences on the game.
Were any of you guys here a couple of days ago for when the last apparently the last rat 8 in the valley was in the sewers? What was his name? Nero?
Oh yeah, no, I was down there. Yeah.
Was it Knuckle?
I wasn't there. What happened?
So this rat
He was
8,
just killing everybody.
No, this rat 8 was in the sewers.
Rat 8 B or A?
I think he's B.
Knuckles,
I
I
think he's
think.
B. It's not. Yeah, it's Knuckles. It's Knuckles.
Yeah.
Well, his
Nero's
name's
a
Nero. He's this giant rat 8. He's got horns. He looks like a demon. Knuckle showed me a pic. Knuckle was showing
He
pictures of
looks
him.
like
in,
a Hellboy.
Yeah, he does look like a Hellboy, except if Hellboy was evil. But yeah, he's living in the sewers. Is basically like running around like you can't go in the Boulder Cove sewers anymore without having a chance of getting eaten by a giant rat 8. I think it's some really good character development. Like, I mean, I liked Brutus, but Brutus just walked around and destroyed settlements, while like this rat 8, it's more territorial than like running around.
Yeah, man, and Scrappy killed his ass. Nah, he didn't.
I
Server
know.
killed him, but not.
I think it was either Brutus or I think Crumb, but like I know Gipka or Danny Ratso took a photo of him, and Crumb just started fucking chasing him around Boulder Cove, destroying anything in his path, trying to kill him. It was really funny.
That must have been terrifying.
There's this big problem that I remember I was talking to a bunch of people about it in Flash Storm the other day, including Knuckle. He was talking about it. He was expressing his concern about people just pulling camcorders and photography cameras out of their pants because they they all have those when they need them to take a picture of this mutant
Yo, World Star.
World Star.
Ass pulling them.
There was this one time when I was in the Badlands as my former HR character for TRO.
Mm-hmm.
I think I already told Moose about this, but like Nero was there too. I was getting close to my friend's house building thingy until Nero just popped out of nowhere and flung a full fucking car at the building and destroyed it.
That happened to me. We were
Jeez.
when we were fighting Brutus, we were on top of the gas station. He like chucked like 3 cars at us or something. That was X. Yeah, and then I've had some pretty good experiences on TCA for. I remember Dorp, one of your hosts, was a grill out, and that's like, I know some of them can be boring, but that was actually fun. Like I remember like just going and like having our characters kind of like talk to each other, and like it's also like back when I was like new in the faction, but like I remember I had a good time then. Like I said before, like whenever you have for me personally, like if I have like a new character in the faction, which I'm not in many, but like in the ones I am in, whenever I like joined a character dev host, like I kind of actually had fun because like you kind of get your characters to know everyone. But then like whenever you guys have like normal hosts or just normally play the game, if you think about it, that's kind of like character dev too, because like you kind of talk to people, your character does stuff, everyone learns about each other a bit more. But I had some fun there.
On the subject of Nero, or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
I know, like the other day, me and Glizzy were down that sewer with him, and he was just like, he was just going off, like attacking anything he saw. And the only fun part about it for us was like, we had to find like a dead mutant body to get spores for Macrovelli's descendant character, since Nero like ripped his chest open while he was fighting him, and that was kind of fun, like trying to like not get seen by him. A fucking Metal Gear game.
That's one thing I really like about like some of the people that I love in ATF are the people who are like playing as literal quest givers. They're like you were saying, I don't know the extent of it, but you were saying something about somebody, their descendant needed spores, so you went out and got them.
Yeah, Macrovelli, ideally we have like this like cool, like I guess it's kind of cool. It's like a whole shanty town in the garages.
That's neat.
And we've just been doing role plays of just like trying to like survive, I guess, in a way. It's pretty fun.
One thing I'd like to add is when like Nero's scary, not because it's it is scary because it's a 7'5" like beast, but it's also being controlled by a complete insane typer. Like you'll go up a ladder and he'll have your head already crushed in like 3 seconds. The knuckle types so fast it like scares me, cause like if I encounter him, I know by the time I try to make a step, I'm dead.
Do you have any since we're talking about experiences and encounters in the ATF series, do you have any interesting experiences within the Syndicate?
Oh god.
No, I'm just kidding. Actually, I do have one. I got promoted to HR within a month of being in the faction, roughly. No, actually, that's a fucking lie. 2 or 3 months.
That's the great experience you had.
Now I'm a CR, and the interesting thing that kind of caused that is because I started making like $300 per host.
Yeah, fanjombler. Remember when I had Scrappy's Hibachi and we made like a bunch of money? Me,
We
you,
made
a bunch
we
of other
made a
people.
lot of
You were the
money.
bartender, my friend Givka.
I just sold
I was the
AR-15s for like
first bartender
45
for
fucking
Scrap.
dollars.
Jesus.
So
You tried selling a fucking rifle that you made for
Have you ever tried selling
$125.
cookies?
and I successfully did it. So suck that.
Well,
Oh, you know what
Uh,
else
I'm
was an
gonna
interesting
be-
experience? One time we came across this scrap town, and so this was before the Syndicate was public in character. It was very secretive. No one knew the name the Syndicate. It was before all that.
Mm-hmm.
At some point last year, we went
Yeah.
public with the name. So this was before that. We come up on a scrap town, and we literally instill a revolution just so we can take it out for personal gains. So we roll in there. I fucking get PTK. All right. I walk up to the town leader and I assassinate him in front of everyone. And I got the CDF to be in on it. So these civilian defense front let me take over a fucking scrap town. Let me just get that through your head. This is batshit off the fucking wall crazy. And guess who that was? That was Superior Wrath that was in that. That dude is fucking gone. They found his alt like a month after. So this was back when all that was happening. So we had a front company come in called Spire Corp, and we made a corporate dystopia out of this scrap town.
Oh, jeez.
It was the worst town ever, but we made like $1,000 fucking dollars on it. It was crazy.
That does bring me
The
back.
dung-
That brings us back to our original point that we were this podcast was originally.
You can
about
make
the
money off
factions.
stupid people for free in ATF.
We were talking about what faction is
I love
morally,
that.
when looking at the entire valley's interests, what faction would be best for the valley?
Coyotes,
See, yeah, that's
definitely
okay.
Oh, yeah.
coyotes.
Fuck the fucking coyote. Ugh.
Yeah,
You guys
Tara, we were
remember
talking about it earlier.
JS4?
Like, we think the faction was kind of good, but the way they implemented it, the way they carried it out, we thought it was
It
kind of
sucked. The whole
poopy.
fucking thing was trash.
Scully was the best. Changed my
Bring
mind.
back
Whatever
the
the
claw.
JS4, what the hell did they
Bring
even
back the claw.
What about the USCPF? I don't really see them around that much.
do? TF
Who
factions
in the
are,
hell
like,
is
they're-
the USCPF? Oh
Huh.
yeah,
Now that you
they're
ask,
those
I don't
imperialist
know.
They're
fucks.
like those clear lunatics in the background eating fucking crayons out of the box. Hey, we're planning this raid for 2 grenades. Now I have 4 now.
I'm not gonna give out names, but rumor has it that during Deep 6, the USCPF once ass pulled a helicopter.
And that is completely fucking true. I witnessed it. That was
Wait, really?
not fun.
What happened?
And the reason they could justify that is because they have massive wealth in Deep 6. They have so much shit in that game. They can just they do it and it's completely realistic. I think it was fine. I don't think they need to worry about it. I think it's really blown out of proportion, honestly.
The PRT getting just mowed down by a helicopter. What about how's it like being a veteran for the CDF?
From what I've heard from like one of my friends, I think being a veteran in the CDF is like being an MR or something
And
like
no,
that.
it's like being an LR that can host. They give you nothing.
So SR.
They just it's basically you can host and that's it. I had to get explicit permission from Hayes back when he was leading. And before that, Zalev, just to fucking do a raid or anything like that. It was not fun. Not fun at all. The only fun you could possibly ever have with CDF is in Spark and when you're blowing up shit. So
yeah.
Speaking of which, I did do that. That was good.
Like, how many of you here have actually played like Deep 6? Like, not like played it once, but like actually.
The actual Deep 6, not the pussy fish bones version of the Deep 6 that's now out.
Yeah, like the OG Deep 6 before the reboot, like back when.
I did. It was horrible.
Really?
Well, the story was fucking terrible. I think I fucking hated it. Now you're gonna look back with rose-tinted glasses and say I'm wrong, but really, I mean that was batshit crazy. That was nuts. That was like the most nuts story I've ever seen. Like they like the civilians just didn't give a fuck about anything happening, and they're just so based that they're attacking the army. Like that, no, that's just they're so based.
Oh yes.
That was the most based shit I've ever seen in my fucking life. Holy cow, dude! When you go on Deep Six, let's say like early Deep Six, back when everyone was fucking retarded.
Yeah.
So there was like firefighter people that would just beat you to death with baseball bats. Just
That
straight
happened
the
to
fuck
me.
up.
That happened to me.
Literally, just they're so based. They're like, oh yeah, we're fucking firefighters. We're gonna save your life one day. That being said, turn and face the wall and give me your fucking wallet. and then they proceed doink doink doink, beat you to fucking death with a
Compensation for when you say
medieval trench fucking mace thing. God, the fucking weapons
think-
in Deep Six were nuts, dude.
Yeah, but like I don't know. I've had some pretty cool experiences on Deep Winter though. Like to be honest. Like,
Oh
I
yeah,
don't-
same.
there was
Actually,
this-
me, Center Deep, and Smartmouth 226 were having a RP there. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, I remember.
Honestly, I can't count how many times I've been jumped on Deep Six where someone had a baseball bat with barbs attached to it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's
That's
literally
my
the
head.
only fucking weapon in that game. I swear to you.
I
In like
know.
2115, you would
retarded.
think you could just find something crazy, like a gun. Think of that. That would be nice, right? A gun. Nope.
Oh
Throw
my
that out the
God.
fucking window.
Yeah.
A gun in 2115? What the hell?
The
Impossible.
the experiences in Deep Winter and Deep Six for me though, they were like I don't know, they were kind of bittersweet because a lot of the times whenever you'd hop on, like on Deep Winter, everyone would be conglomerated towards like the den, and then for Deep Six, everyone would be like at the bar in Southside for the most part. So that was just kind of yeah.
Till they
Remember-
sent it to hell.
I know. And then I remember when Whitman Bay came out, like everyone went there for like a week or two, and then just went back to Southside.
I like
And
how
now with the
they
Boulder
don't
Cove,
explain it. It's just a town just materializes out of nowhere.
yeah. Same with the the Boulder Cove expansion.
Poof.
Half a town.
And then God said,
Wow.
"Let there be concrete."
What do you think of the new expansion?
I think the expansion's cool. I've had some pretty cool experiences there. Like I remember with when you guys were talking earlier about Nero.
That came
Knuckles,
out a year
Red
ago.
AD. Yeah.
Daily reminder that really should have came out a year ago. I swear to God, they were working on it way long ago. Then they paused the development.
Yeah.
And then they fucking went back and did it. So with that time frame, I'd expect you to have a complete map by now. Imagine that. Imagine if they completed the Mirage map. That'd be great, right?
Well-
A complete map in Mirage.
Yeah, the map's fucking
That's unheard
incomplete.
of.
All
What
right,
if
you know,
it was all a
It's very
dream?
small.
half of it's
Farland.
fucking sand. Okay, you can't just sit there and tell me that it's not a fucking incomplete map. Like Jesus.
It feels
it's-
so empty.
On the on
You know, if
the
you add fog
setting,
to the map, it would literally fix that problem. It would feel like way more condensed if you just put some fucking
on the
fog in there.
topic
You know?
of like
And
the
judging-
surrounding of like ATF games, me and my friends have been like thinking that like a jungle ATF could have a lot of possibilities and be really cool. They want like they want Georgia and Alabama stuff, just so you can get a
Just
balance
saying
of like
a new
trees
location.
and
You know,
stuff.
ATF and
you
don't
bring
know
up
if there's
that
any
point, but fucking
Jungles.
spin-offs these days are just new date, new location, nothing different about the lore at all. I mean, I plan to revive the black hole lore
The what?
with
Oh,
the
yeah,
spin-off
yeah,
at some
yeah.
point. You remember that shit?
Oh,
The
Tara, I
fucking
need to
ATF
one?
lore?
DM you about
Mhm.
something.
That was awful, but I think I can pull it off.
What
There-
like one of the like you brought up the idea in like a jungle ATF when they had that like grass April Fool's update thing. Yeah, like when they did the for April Fool's back in 2019, I did that like Vietnam video, whatever. That was pretty fun. I remember a lot of people like told like Chad, they were like,
think
hey,
I
you
was
should
there.
actually make like a separate game off of it. And I thought it was pretty neat. I don't know.
Because
Yeah, you could
It
have
was,
like
yeah.
swamp. You could have like swamp
fun.
and like gilly mutants.
Hey
New
man,
Orleans.
You could have,
ATF
like,
in New
so
Orleans.
many
Yes,
cool
yeah, New,
ATF in New
possibilities.
Orleans.
New
Yeah,
Orleans, definitely.
Left 4 Dead. It's always that kind
hurricane.
Hurricane
That could
event.
happen.
Make up
Yeah,
a
that'd be
town,
cool.
but we have to have an ATF in
That actually
Louisiana.
Going back to the discussion about the map for Mirage, like Tara said, like, first of all, the map is so small and fog can literally fix it. And judging by how hard it rains or how frequently it rains, Sealy, I believe that that can happen.
Who gives a fuck about that? Everyone brings it up. They're like, "Oh, the rain is unrealistic. It's fucking rain. Get over it."
It's a Roblox
Yeah,
game.
fucking rain.
Ruins my
It's
immersion.
literally- It's
Dude,
literally
Deep
a
Six literally had a flood that wiped out the entirety of South.
I remember that.
You
Me and
remember
my
that? It was like
friends back then.
October.
Yeah.
It was late October 2017.
October 2016, 2017, something like that. Yeah.
17,
I was there.
remember
I was
distinctly.
there,
The
dude.
23rd.
I was there with my old friends, and we were kind of still. Well, we weren't really Failbro plate, but like I
Everyone
remember we
was
were there.
falling in the water. No, and then they
Yeah.
get whisked off to fucking somewhere. No one
Kingdom
really
Come.
thought this shit out, but it was fun.
Yeah, I remember.
So
Me and my
everyone
friends.
acting realistic is taking the fun out of the current game. Just
Agreed.
shut the fuck up and play the game, you
Yeah,
dum-dums.
I remember
it's
when I
gotten
was
this far,
when
go
that
on.
happened, we were on top of the courthouse like helping people. That was one of my like really fun times I've had on Deep Six and ATF in general, to be honest.
Forgets the name of the game. Deep Six. You know, Darkness and I think the best world building. Like that map felt fucking
What
huge.
map?
And it's
Darkness?
actually pretty small. Yeah,
That was the
Darkness.
first ATF game I've played.
It felt
I
fun
remember
because it was hard to navigate.
Darkness was a terrible game. I hate the
Yeah.
Darkness timeline. However, for what it's worth, the buildings and everything, it felt very good.
Yeah.
I don't really know how to describe condensed.
I
It was-
agree.
It didn't have this problem where you just have tons
Yeah,
of
I
empty
agree.
space. I feel like the Mirage builders were like, let's fucking make like 1 million miles of land and then never use half of it. Like they bit off more than they can chew.
I'm not gonna lie, as cool as the prop
Chad.
placer, it's kind of unusable at times because like so many dunes everywhere. It just kind of annoys
Can I have
me.
F3X instead?
Yeah.
Please, thank.
The dunes don't really make it that unusable. You can literally raise it off the ground.
No, you just turn on the.
You could put the
transition thing.
fucking
It just kind of bugs
the stilt things. But like, who fucking builds anyway? Fuck you. I hate you. If you
I bought
build
all
shit,
of the
I
things,
fucking
and
hate
then I
your
used it
guts.
once
You know what? Let me
before.
tell you fucking why. It was originally made for props. Now it's a building placer, and everyone's using it for buildings.
I mean, you can like build houses, yeah, it's fine. But if you build like military compounds and shit, what the fuck is your problem?
No, even just a big ass scrap town that like have
What
like.
was the name of the? What was the name of
you have
the?
a problem if you do
Oh
that.
my god! It's not even the realism that fucking bothers me. It's the immersion breaking. It's unfucking believable how immersion break.
I've always had the thought, like, what if, like, one day, like Chad just did this thing where, like, I don't know, like for April Fools, he made, you know, like all the props that everyone has ever placed or saved, the props everyone has ever saved, like the builds. What if he made them?
Replaced with
No. What if they just popped? Like, what if he just made them spawn in the map, like all of them, like everything?
God.
No,
That would break the game.
That's not possible
No.
unless you do it for the players.
No.
Like,
He's like,
every player in
that
the
would take
game.
so long to load.
Dude, that would be crazy though. What if?
No, not really. They have streaming enabled, so it wouldn't be horrid. I mean, it'd be fucking horrid.
Just
but it wouldn't
imagine
be
how that would
horrid,
look. Like,
you know?
like everything would just be filled up.
It would look like a complete map, but like
It would
cursed.
look like an actual bomb drop there.
Dude, it would look like an actual ATF game. No,
Yeah. But yeah, about earlier, Tara, when you said about, you know, like people getting mad about like immersion or whatever, like I guess, like I don't know, it's a Roblox game at the end of the day. As long as you guys have fun and don't like break the rules like a lot.
please. But it's meant for immersion. They built the game for it, and then there's these people build scrap towers. I'm
It's
like,
just
stop
a
it.
game. It's such a weak mindset.
You seen the people who build like
the
the
fucking FRPs are
It's
ruining
just
it
a
all.
game, bro. We can build whatever we want, especially if it makes no logical sense.
I can build the skycock.
You seen the people who build those ramps and drive their cars up them and like
Fuck
oh
that
my God,
shit.
it's so
Fuck
annoying.
that shit. Fuck that
There
shit. I
was-
fucking
there was
son of a
one,
bitch. fuck that.
You're
I
sitting there.
fucking hate
Yeah,
people who do that.
it's so annoying.
There was one ramp that someone saved where it went all the way up to the clouds. You could literally drive up on there with like a Kaylee or whatever. It was insane, but at the same time, it didn't make logical sense.
Who gives a shit? That's fun. If it's on like a private server and you're just fucking around. But when I'm trying to RP and I see the skycock
Oh no.
slash sky ramp slash scrap town, I go, hey, wait a minute, that wasn't there 5 minutes ago. Wait, oh, there goes the emergency.
You guys
Done.
remember? Wait.
Here's the thing.
Do you guys remember Lake Town?
It's like waking up from a dream and then like saying the thing that you had on your mind before you woke up from the dream.
Yeah.
So you see like some retard calling you a fat ass, and you're like, you wake up, you sit up, and you go, I'm not a fat ass. Wait, I just woke up. It's like that
Yeah,
with
that's
immersion. It's like
Listen here, buddy.
listen here, I chase you. Wait, that's a fucking scrap. Wait, oh my god, that's a ramp going like 1,000 feet in the air. All right, now I woke up.
I mean,
That's what it's like.
With what I mentioned earlier, that like that homeless shanty town thing that Macrovelli's been doing,
Yeah.
that's kind of giving me a little bit of immersion, because it makes me feel like, oh yeah, no, this is like the ATF world. Instead of being like happy-go-lucky, everybody has guns and stuff. Why isn't there like homeless thugs
Russia
roaming around?
is what that is.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
feel like there
it's
should
like
be like
the
homeless
truly-
thugs and like crackheads. Same with like
Russia.
Drosta.
You want it to
Normal
be Russia, right?
ragtag.
Yeah, let's bring back the Russian aspect of ATF. But I didn't need those yet.
In Drosta, in Deep Winter, the markets town, in lore, there's like a bunch of crackheads that walk around with like shotguns.
I need
causing
my
havoc.
crack pipe. Get the AK-74. Glory to Stalin. Here we need more vodka. We need more ACMF descendants, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, ACMF.
What? Do you want more fucking? You want more commies
The only
walking
true
around?
ACMF is Russia. Glorious Russia. Ivans are driving the world.
Is ACMF a thing in
Man,
Mirage?
I hate ACM.
ACMF is literally
yeah.
ACMF is literally dead in
like
Mirage.
it's like all the evil of Asia
You
put
get,
into
like,
one
related
stupid
people
ass faction
and have a
run by
reason to be
Power Band. So yeah, basically Russia is involved because it's the pinnacle of the evil conglomerate trying to kill you and your babies and then eat them.
Man, how come in the World War III war in the
so
ATF
retarded?
timeline, why couldn't we have McDonald's versus Burger King? God damn it!
How it's actually gonna be because of how fucking corporate America is getting. We're gonna have a thermonuclear war between Burger King and Wendy's.
That's a whole nother podcast, my friend.
They're gonna
Nope,
That's
nope.
gonna be it from episode 1. Thank you.
Yeah, that was awful.
Thank you guys for all coming out. we got a little bit off topic,
hated
but
Hey.
I think we
Little
got
bit
it
off
pretty good. Yeah, and thank you to all of you for coming out and joining us.
You're
today.
You're not welcome.
All right.
Ah.
Sad son of a